Roman cavalry fought with a specific physical limitation. They rode without saddle trees or stirrups, maintaining their balance using leg pressure alone. This posture restricts how much kinetic energy a rider can exert. If a Roman soldier thrusts a lance with too much force, the pushback from the strike easily throws him off the back of his horse. Light cavalry was effective for scouting, for quick pursuits, and rapid harassment. But because of their precarious balance, they were unable to deliver a high-impact charge into a solid enemy line. Human biomechanics dictated the tactics. Because the rider could not brace himself against the horse, the man and the animal remained two separate entities rather than a single unified weapon. That limitation finally shifted in the 6th century. Avar horsemen arriving from the Central Asian steppe introduced a new technology to the West: simple iron loops suspended from the saddle on leather straps. By standing in the stirrup loops, a rider locks a couched lance against their side. The galloping horse's full mass drives the weapon forward. Upon impact, kinetic recoil channels through the rider's braced legs and into the stirrups, keeping the horseman firmly in place. A simple hardware upgrade altered the physical laws of human balance on horseback, providing the leverage needed for a new kind of warfare. In October 732, the Franks encountered this evolving threat in central France. Charles Martel commanded a Frankish infantry force, successfully holding a ridge against advancing Muslim shock cavalry from Iberia. Martel's infantry held the line, but the battle highlighted a long-term vulnerability. Foot soldiers alone could not reliably withstand the concentrated impact of a stirrup-equipped cavalry charge over multiple engagements. He realized that to effectively counter shock cavalry, the Frankish state would need to field its own force of heavily armored, permanently mounted knights. This requirement created a significant administrative challenge. Building a force of heavy cavalry meant finding a way to pay for elite soldiers, war horses, and armor that the existing economy was not yet equipped to support. 8th century kings lacked the hard currency necessary to pay a large standing army. Without a deep tax base or a cash economy, they had to fund their military through other means. The solution was the benefice. Martel and his administrators began issuing specific grants of landed estates, using the land itself as a form of non-cash payment. The terms of the exchange were specific. A man received an estate on the condition that he would arrive armed, mounted, and ready to fight whenever the king called. He was now a vassal. The crops and rent generated by the peasants on that land were used to cover the high costs of outfitting that single warrior. The land paid for the horse, the iron, and the years of preparation. This administrative practice, trading real estate to fund heavy cavalry, marked the structural origin of a new societal hierarchy. Using the physics of the stirrup to its full potential is a difficult skill. It requires executing a full-speed charge and a controlled wheel while staying steady in the saddle under the force of impact. To develop that specific muscle memory, a rider has to begin specialized training in boyhood. It is a lifetime commitment to a single form of combat. A family's right to keep their land became tied to their ability to maintain this military readiness. If the next generation could not perform as a knight, the grant and the family status could be lost. This turned the knight into a specialized economic unit. His role in society was dictated by the equipment and training required to make the stirrup an effective weapon. By the 12th century, this arrangement had shaped the European landscape. A typical manor consisted of common fields, a church, and the Lord's house, all functioning as part of a single system. At the pyramid's base, peasants worked the land, providing agricultural surplus that flowed upward. The local lord converted this into horses and armor, fulfilling his military obligation to the crown. Every level was connected by these mutual requirements. This social order provided the framework for European life for 5 centuries. It was a system that organized itself around the specific economic demands of supporting a mounted warrior and the iron loops that kept him in the saddle.